welcome to Jackie Burns Creations. We are gathering again to Just My Imagination. Our hosts are Kathy Jo, DIY, Z9 Designs, and Rusty Can Lace. Great ladies, fun ladies. Project number 1. Well, I could not figure out what in the world to do with the Swiffer. And I said to my son, what am I going to do with that? And he goes, well, needle felled it. And I go, oh, no, that's not the right material. And I got looking, I had it in my hand and I was looking at it. And I was looking at the center fibers and I thought, they're curly like yarn, like the carded yarn, not like the smooth yarn. And I thought, I'm just going to try it and see. And so I took and I just kind of fluffed it apart like you do the yarn. And I rolled it up in kind of a rectangle. And I started doing it. And guess what? It was working. And I just learned to needle felt. My last video was the first needle felting I've ever done. And I made a little bee. So this time I thought, well, the yellow will make a little chick. And what you do is you take that needle, it's a special needle, it's got barbs on the bottom of it, and it grabs the yarn or this fiber, and it tangles them together, packs them together. And I was doing the body, now I'm doing a little bit more on the head, adding a little bit more, and I'm using this punch thing I'm using is a bunch of needles in there instead of just one needle. Now I'm just kind of fluffing this part as I'm going to make the wings. And you just tap it. You hold your needle on an angle and you just tap it. And you keep doing that until it gets hard and stiff and not so fuzzy. But I just couldn't believe this Swiffer was working. And you can see I'm putting the hat on. And what you do is you hold it in place and then you tap it around one area and then you tap it around another area. There I'm putting a wing on. And you can see I'm just going back and forth, and I'm going up in the wing, down, and then under the wing, on the top. I mean, this is just a very simple design because that's about how much Swiffer I had. Maybe as I advance, I'll get a little more going with it. Maybe try a little harder project, but I thought this was so fun that this worked. I used a kind of an ice pick awl type thing, and I poked holes through the head, and I'm putting these little plastic eyes in. Because the little plastic eyes, they came in a kit I have. The kit doesn't necessarily have just one project that's a bunch of yarn, and this orange came from there, and I'm putting its beak on. You just take a little bit up and roll it in a ball and put it down and try to shape it to a point. Okay, project number 2. One of our challenges was to use a belt. So I found this old box in my stash, and I thought, well, I'm going to paint it because it was never sealed or painted or anything. Well, if it was sealed, it was a long time ago. Yeah, I think the box is maybe 70s, 80s at the most. I don't think it's really old. But I'm using DIY paint. Ooh, brain fart there. DIY paint. This is the Jamie Ray Vintage kind. The color was crockery. Now here's an IOD, one of their new releases. And I'm looking in here to see, what would look cute on this box. There's so many cute ones in here. That's one of my favorite ones. And I like this great big one, this Imperial Geranium. So I'm just measuring where the center is. And I will do that too. Let's see, Imperial Granium, Superior Nutrition. Anyway, so I put the transfer on, and if you've seen me before, you know how to do the transfer. I just rub and rub until I can grab a corner and start lifting. I just thought this one would look really cute with the belts, really kind of industrial type. And I'm just going over the top of it to burnish it down with the carrier sheet. And I'm measuring my belt, cutting it. It's real leather, but it cut pretty good with the scissors. Now I'm was taking a little bit, measuring and folding it at the edges. Now here's a piece that I'm going to put right across the lid. Put a little the glue. I put the glue on, and now I put a little hot glue to give it an instant hold. I tried to use the belt, had a bunch of holes in it. So I'm just putting a little glue on the box and then a little bit on the belt, and I'm going to put a little strip of hot glue down to hold it. And I'm just going to press on it there. And then I'm going to fold down my edge. And I did the edges just so they just clear the top. It didn't go all the way around. So I didn't have enough belt to make it go all the way around. You can see how I lined it up with the edges. And I decided to put one across the front, so I'm just marking it to see where to cut it. And I cut it and put the glue on it and the hot glue. Now I've got some DIY wax. It's the dark wax. I just love this stuff. I just told you before, it's like butter. And I'm even waxing the belt because it just seemed really dry because it was, I think, fairly old. So I thought, well, waxing the belt helps condition. Now I'm wiping back. So I want to give it an aged look. I did sand the top and the edges a little bit to give them an aged look. And I think this just looks really cool. Okay, project number 3. And this is paper towels. This one stumped me more than any. So I saw this thing on Pinterest where they used toilet paper. But I thought I can use paper towels. So what I'm doing is I'm giving it a mist. And then I'm going to cover it with Mod Podge. And I tore off 8 sheets. And I guess you could use as many sheets as you want. But using 8 sheets, it really came out like almost a lightweight cardboard. I could kind of bend it. And I thought, if you didn't have any cardboard and you wanted to do a project, you could make your own cardboard out of the paper towels. I just give it a little rub there. A little bit more water and lay another sheet down. And another spritz. This is a mister bottle, so it comes out just nice and even and not too much. Okay, some more. Yeah, I need some more Mod Podge. Modgy Podgy, as my friend Dawn says. The Modge and the Podge. Anyway, I ran out using it on this project. So I used some liquid patina. That's from DIY. It's a medium that you use to decoupage and stuff. So I took one of my IOD paint inlays and I put it down to see if it will transfer. So this was just so experimental. I didn't know how this project was going to go. If it didn't work, I would turn it over and do something else with it. Or cover it with another piece. But it worked. I left it overnight. Well, I actually left it for a couple of days. And I was peeling the paper off. And usually you can save the paper because it's got still paint on it. But this one seemed to transfer most of the paint to the paper towels. And now I'm using honey color because I thought, oh, this will go good with the lemons. This is a DIY paint. It's a Jamie Ray vintage. It's DIY paint run by Debbie Beard, but Jamie Ray's a friend of hers, and they collaborated to do this all-in-one step paint. You don't have to seal it or anything. It's got a self-leveler in there. It's got a sealer. So I took a piece of paper and I measured the circle. And I painted it, I think, 3 or 4 times, so it would just look really good. I'm just kind of waiting for it to dry there. You can almost still see some of the dark coming through. But I took the circle and I held it up to my paper towels and I cut it out into a circle. And why am I showing you all of this? And I cut it a little smaller than the circle on top so I can use the rope to outline. Okay, you want to keep staring at that platter, don't you? Now I could end up putting feet on it, make it a riser, or I could get a bottom for it and make it a lazy Susan. Haven't decided yet. But here I'm putting some of the wood glue on, and I'll take a brush and spread it. So I started selling jewelry, and so I think I'm going to have some, and I've been doing it on my friend Christy Ann's channel, and so I'm spreading a little glue over to the paper towels. See how stiff that is? Like I say, it's just almost like a lightweight cardboard. But anyway, I've been selling jewelry that I love. I love to buy jewelry. And I go down rabbit holes and buy too much, so I need to sell some. And I especially love Native American jewelry, so I'm going to start doing that. And if you're interested, just keep an eye out on my community tab. I'll be posting it. And so I decided to put the rope on there. And I go around a couple of times at the top. This rope was so stiff, I couldn't cut it with regular scissors. I had to use like these little jewelry snips and just go in a little bit at a time. And Tiffany, you were talking about glue strings. Yeah, they're the bane of my crafting existence. You can't see them too much, but they're all over the darn place. And I've tried all kinds of glue, and they all string. I know I use it. I do. I know I can hear somebody saying it. I do use my hot heat gun to get rid of them afterwards, but still, oh, they make me crazy. And so I'm just lining that inner ring with the rope, and then I'm going around the outside edge with the rope, trying to get it right on the edge and not burn myself. Now here I am with the getting a little extra glue that blobbed down there. You know, I'm washing off these handles that I got from my friend Tammy. Getting some of the kitchen grease off of them, and I put some E7000 and some hot glue on them to hold them in place. I don't think I'd be carrying anything heavy on there. It's just more for looks because it looks cute. And this would be cute to put candles on, or flowers, or like I say, use as a riser. And I'm just looking at it, trying to get it measured up there. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate every one of you. And here's our final reveal. And I hope you like it. It was fun. It's always fun. It's one of my favorite collabs. Here's the little chickie. And here's the box. And here's the tray. Well, I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you again really soon. Bye. He doesn't even know I've advanced beyond secretary. She squeezed my arm. Do you want to leave? Before I could answer, another voice joined the conversation. Alexander Bennett's distinctive cadence. My father and Alexander were speaking just around the corner of the terrace, out of sight, but perfectly audible. Marshall Wilson, good to meet you. You're with Westland Manufacturing. Senior Operations Manager, yes. Been there